because until we see it for what it is, we cannot defeat it. We cannot beat it. We cannot overcome it. We have to look it in the eyes and know this is the real enemy. You love to sing. It makes you feel alive. It lights you up, right? Well, then why is it so hard to make yourself actually sing? Why do you feel like you have to make yourself do it? If you found yourself missing that feeling of wanting to sing, or you keep resisting making music altogether, then you know all about today's topic. We are talking about the real enemy of creativity, what it is, how it shows up, and what to do about it. So if you're ready to stop avoiding the thing that you know is good for your soul, then tune in. You're going to want to hear this. Welcome to Reawaken Your Voice. Are you tired of pushing aside your desire to sing, only for it to resurface again and again? Hey, I'm Lainey, voice and creativity coach, singer and songwriter. If you're ready to rediscover the freedom of creative expression, free from judgment, doubt, comparison, and fear, then grab that notebook full of ideas. It's time to give voice to the songs in your heart. Let's sing. Hey friend, before we get started with today's episode, I just want to invite you to ask a question. Request a topic for a future episode. I'd love to hear from you and get an idea of what you want to hear more of on this podcast. So send me an email at hello@reawakenyourvoice.com, and perhaps you will hear your question or your topic on a future episode. So I can't tell you how many times I have set aside the time to sing, and then that time came and went without even opening my mouth to sing a note. Almost like there was a magnet repelling me from the practice space or the piano bench. I would find anything and everything else to do instead. I mean, I've done things like file papers or sort through a box of stuff in the closet, or even something that disguised itself as the work but wasn't actually the work. So, for example, I would listen back through voice memos to kind of organize little snippets of songs that I had recorded, little ideas, little bits of inspiration. So I'd go back and listen through all these and, organize them into categories or files, whatever. Or I'd flip through old notebooks to find that one line, that one phrase, that one idea that sparked inspiration for a song somewhere along the way. And then somehow I would just get lost in the nostalgia from, past lives, little windows into that season of life in whichever notebook I happen to find myself. And then by the time I pull myself out of that memory lane, my time is up. And I never even took the initial breath to warm up my voice. Anything but the work itself. Cleaning, yard work. I mean, these are all things that you can convince yourself are more important. Like, they seem productive. Even mundane things like catching up on texts or phone calls. maybe planning out all the things you're going to do once you finish that song, laying out the steps, but you never even sing through the song. Is any of this hitting home? Like, can you relate to any of these? Because I've done all of these. Researching recording software, how to produce a track, or what about like copyright, looking into copyright law and music streaming platforms, different options. Maybe I should plan out each and every vocal exercise to do and in which order and for how long, and then I'll have the perfect practice session. But you don't actually open your mouth to sing. So that dream of singing and creating whatever it is that's on your heart, it remains forever in your head. It just goes in circles around your head. It's forever an idea, a plan, rather than an action. Rather than actually doing it, you just think about it and plan it and imagine it in your head. So it's living in your head rather than embodying the dream. So why do we do this? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we do this to our art? Why do we do this as artists? Well, let's talk about it, shall we? So first of all, what is this thing? Like, this thing is repelling us from the very creative work that our heart is calling us to do. The very thing that we know lights us up and gives us life and will do good in the world. However we choose to share our voice and share our music and whatever we are longing to create, there is good built into it. There is good behind it and within it and all around it. But there's something stopping us from doing that. What is this thing? So first of all, let's name it. What is the real enemy of creativity? Well, the true enemy of creativity is resistance. I love this name for, perhaps, we could think of it as the inner critic. Oh, there's my sweet little baby boy. He's here. He's here. We made it. All right, let me bring him up here with me so that he can be part of this. I can tell he has something to say. It's almost as if resistance doesn't want to be named, doesn't want to be identified. Like, no, don't say it. Don't expose me for who I am. So it's Stephen Pressfield who named this resistance. And I love this take on it. We can call it the inner critic, but it doesn't always show up as criticism from within. It shows up in so many ways externally as well. So this force of nature that pushes us away from creativity, from doing the thing that we know is going to bring growth, true good in the world. This repelling force, resistance, is the true enemy of creativity. So we can kind of look at this as good and evil. Really, evil opposes good. So the evil, or in this case, resistance, it is here to steal, kill, and destroy. let's not even be lighthearted about this. This is a real heavy, dark force that wants to steal our time, steal our talent, steal our focus and our attention. It wants to kill any creative aspiration that we have, and it wants to destroy it before it even has our breath of life. It wants to keep us busy, keep us distracted, stops us from creating. This is the destruction, right? So, how does it show up? Well, it can look a lot like procrastination, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, fear, self-doubt, comparison, not having enough time to do it. Or suddenly this sickness shows up, or you have some distraction show up. It can look like getting stuck in the planning and the researching phase. It can show up as peripheral activities, like I was talking about earlier. You start working on things that seem kind of like the work itself, but aren't actually it. It can show up as drama in your personal life, excuses of any kind. Like, it is very deceptive. It pretends it's something else so that you're distracted. You're focused on another enemy. You think the enemy is someone else or something else. So you think, oh, this procrastination, it's my fault. I need to work on my procrastination. Or, oh, I keep comparing myself to other people. I need to work on that. Or, oh, I need to plan better. I need to do some more research on this. It shows up in different ways, making you think that that's the true enemy, when in reality, everything behind this is resistance. It's just keeping us from doing good, keeping us from doing what's most important to our growth, what's most important to actually becoming who we were designed to be and doing the very things that we were designed to do. So it shows up in a very sneaky way. It's very deceptive, very cunning. It lures you away from truth, from the real enemy, and it lures you away from the real work. So it's kind of like stealth mode here. So we've named it, it's resistance, and we see the very many ways it shows up. But what do we do about it? Well, let's look at what we think we need to do about it, or things we've tried that haven't worked. We don't see the true enemy. We see all these symptoms, right? The procrastination, perfectionism, oh, I don't have enough time, all the excuses and distractions and, all the things. So we think, well, maybe if I just had more discipline or had a better routine, if I could just follow through, and maybe I should work on my productivity skills. I need to get organized. I need to make a plan. Oh, maybe I should take that course on project management. That would help me. Let me go buy a paper planner. And, oh, maybe I should sign up for that software program that'll help me really organize my project. And maybe if I just make more time for it and plan it far enough in advance and read some more books about procrastination, or once I do some more healing work around this, then I can do the work. Then I'll be good enough. Then I will have enough resources, enough knowledge, enough skills. All the while you're beating yourself up for not having it figured out by now. So we think it's all these tangential things, like these are just symptoms of the root of it. And the root is this resistance. The enemy of creativity is just this force of nature that is negative, is dark, and wants to push you away from the thing that will self-actualize you, or that will help you become the full expression of who you are here to be and the good you're here to create. So you could run in circles trying to address each of these symptoms in numerous ways. You know, all these healing modalities and the personal development, the studying and understanding your personality and digging through your past experiences and, trying to connect with your inner critic and listen to what it has to say and understand it on a deeper level. You can do all these things. And I'm not saying there isn't good that can come from digging into all of these different ways that we employ to better ourselves, right? There can be real good in all of these, but so often it's just a disguise. It's a distraction from the truth, the reality that if we just gather all these things into a single bouquet and call it what it is, resistance, then we can simplify this whole thing and identify the true enemy. Because until we see it for what it is, we cannot defeat it. We cannot beat it. We cannot overcome it. We have to look it in the eyes and know this is the real enemy. So how does your resistance show up? Really look at that. There are many expressions of resistance, but you can group it all together and see it for what it is. And then when we name it and point at it and look at it, it almost wants to run and hide, but it's exposed in the light. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. We see it for what it is. So when we get it cornered like that, it's going to go wild, right? Like a cornered wild animal. But it also kind of steals its power and its strength. The light, the awareness, the seeing it for what it is, the naming it. It takes away its power. And then we can finally combat resistance. And how do we do that? How do we combat resistance? Well, two things. First of all, it's a simple decision. It's a decision to do the work anyway. Because you see resistance show up, you know what it is, this is a reality. This force of nature is always going to push me away, but I'm going to choose to create in the face of resistance. It's a decision to do the work anyway. And I wish I could say it's a one-time thing. In my experience, that's not the case. It's not, okay, I made the decision once and now everything's better. It's not just a one-time decision. It's every time you go to do the work. Every time you decide to open your mouth and warm up your voice and sing your songs and work on your craft, whether it's your favorite parts of that process or the really hard, challenging, I don't want to do it parts of the process. You decide to move through it and do it anyways. The second thing we can do is lean on the opposing force. So I said that resistance is a force of nature. Well, so is creation. This is the force for good. This creation, this creativity, this is God, the angels, the muse. It is called music after all, right? You can call it inspiration, life force energy, whatever you want to call it. I call it God, the true source of creativity. This is what you lean on when you feel that opposing force, the opposition to your creativity, that is. When you feel that resistance show up, call upon the greater force of nature, which is creativity. As I see it, God Himself, because that will always be stronger. So what is the real enemy of creativity? It is this resistance. How does it show up? In so many ways. It's very deceptive and makes you think it's all these symptoms: procrastination, perfectionism, distractions, excuses, fear. But you can lump it all together and say, there's resistance again. What am I going to do about it? And this is where we're posed with a choice. Do we create anyways? Do we sing anyways? It really is a decision. But beyond that decision, it's an act of will. That strong will is a muscle that you can build. Each time you decide, it gets stronger and stronger. And you have more confidence in yourself and belief that you can do it. And anytime you feel that start to waver, you call upon that force for good, the source of creativity. And that light will guide you deeper into the music, into that place where you lose all track of time and you can sing with your whole heart and be in it, in the flow of creativity. And then you remember, yes, this is why I love to sing so much. This is why I love to create. And each time you feel the resistance, you can call upon that memory. I remember what it feels like to sing with my whole heart, and I want to be in that place again. That's available to you. It starts with a decision, and it ends with surrender to what is good and allowing that to light your way. Thanks for listening, friend. If this episode moved you or inspired you in some way, would you please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with someone who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough? Until next time, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.